This is a light, a single pale bluish-white glow drifting through absolute darkness. No sun has reached this depth in the entire history of the Earth. The pressure here would collapse your lungs before you registered the sensation of drowning. Nothing should be alive down here, and nothing should certainly be producing light. But something is, and it is not doing it to help you see. It is doing it because something is hungry, and the light is not a lamp, it is a lure. Evolution has a long history of making beautiful things dangerous. This one skipped the beautiful part entirely. Everything you think you know about predators assumes physical advantage. Speed, size, venom, strength. The anglerfish has none of those things. What it has is a fishing rod growing out of its forehead, tipped with a glowing lure, dangled in front of a mouth filled with teeth so curved inward that anything entering cannot physically leave. The anglerfish does not chase prey. It creates a false reality, a point of light in total darkness that looks to anything desperate enough to be swimming at this depth, like food or safety, and waits for its prey to choose to approach. It does not hunt, it deceives. And it has been doing it so effectively that the design has remained unchanged for tens of millions of years. And it gets weirder. Meet Melanocetus johnsonii, the black sea devil. One of over 200 anglerfish species, and one of the most comprehensively strange animals on the planet. It is mostly mouth. The body behind the jaws is a dark, gelatinous sac flexible enough to accommodate prey nearly as large as itself, because at this depth, passing up a large meal is not a mistake the anglerfish's lineage survived by making. The teeth are translucent. Prey approaching the lure cannot see the mouth surrounding it until the jaw closes. The whole animal is essentially a floating trap with a light attached. The anglerfish do not produce the lure itself. It is produced by bioluminescent bacteria living symbiotically inside the bulb at the tip of the fishing rod. The anglerfish provides the housing. The bacteria provide the light. Evolution built a partnership in the most inhospitable part of the ocean, and the result is one of the most effective predatory tools natural selection has ever produced. The anglerfish does not flash the light randomly. It pulses it and controls the rhythm. The lure is not just a light. It is a performance, a specific choreography of bioluminescence that may mimic the movement of small prey animals, drawing in exactly the creatures that approach. What swims toward that light is not stupid. It is operating on information that has always been reliable before. The anglerfish did not create that assumption. It learned to exploit it. The prey does not make a mistake. It makes a reasonable decision with false information. And the anglerfish has built its entire existence on that difference. The math says an animal this energy inefficient should not be this successful. The anglerfish solved the deep ocean's scarcity problem by nearly eliminating movement from the equation. It hovers. It waits. It pulses the light. Its metabolic rate is among the lowest recorded for any active predator. It has essentially turned patience into a biological strategy and refined it across geological time until it became indistinguishable from perfection. If you found yourself at depth with an anglerfish, you would not see the fish. You would see the light, small, drifting, faintly blue-white. By the time the rest of the animal resolved out of the darkness, the jaw would already be moving. But that is not the detail that stays with deep-sea biologists. This is. For most of the 20th century, every anglerfish specimen retrieved was female. The males were simply not found. Then someone looked more closely at the females. Fused to the bodies of many females, connected directly to the circulatory system, reduced to little more than a pair of gonads, were the males. Not attached temporarily, but physically merged. The male, upon finding a female in absolute darkness, bites into her skin, releases enzymes that dissolve his face into her body, and fuses permanently. His immune system shuts down, his organs atrophy, and he becomes a reproductive appendage, drawing nutrients from her bloodstream for the remainder of his life. There are females on record carrying up to 8 fused males simultaneously. The sexual parasitism of the anglerfish presents one of the most immunologically puzzling cases in vertebrate biology. Fusing 2 individuals normally triggers immediate immune rejection, the same mechanism that makes organ transplantation in humans so pharmacologically complex. The anglerfish bypasses this entirely. Genomic analysis revealed that deep-sea anglerfish practicing sexual parasitism have lost functional copies of the genes encoding the major histocompatibility complex and T-cell-mediated rejection receptors, the precise genes that allow any vertebrate immune system to distinguish self from non-self. The anglerfish deleted them. The cost is that female anglerfish have essentially no adaptive immune response. They cannot reject the male because they cannot reject anything. The deep ocean's low parasite load makes this vulnerability survivable. The anglerfish traded its immune system for a guaranteed reproductive partner. Evolution does not optimize for elegance. It optimizes for continuation. There is something unexpectedly resonant about an animal that lives in total darkness and survives by producing its own light. In an environment where nothing from the surface reaches, where conditions are as hostile as a living thing can endure and still function, the anglerfish made light. Borrowed it from bacteria it cultivated inside its own body, but the result is the same. In the darkest place on Earth, something found a way to glow. The fact that it uses the light to kill does not diminish that. It makes it more honest. The deep ocean is not a place for sentimentality. It is a place for solutions. And the anglerfish's solution, strange, immunologically reckless, anatomically bizarre, has been working for tens of millions of years. Humans build lighthouses for the same reason the anglerfish evolved a lure: to make something visible in the dark, to draw things closer. The intentions differ. The mechanism is older than we are. But if the anglerfish can turn light into a weapon, creating a false signal in total darkness that overrides the judgment of everything that approaches, we have to ask what happens when that same principle operates not in the deep ocean, but inside the nervous system of a living host. Because there are parasites that produce false signals too, not light. Something considerably harder to detect. And the host, following what feels like instinct, follows the signal all the way to the end before it realizes the light was never what it appeared to be.